Hi everyone, welcome to our web series Fireside Chat with Champions, in which we interview global business leaders, asking them crowdsourced questions relevant to the biggest challenge we face today, COVID-19 and its impact on various aspects of business as well as society, and the way we can steer ourselves in current uncertainties. Today we have with us a very special guest, Regi Wahyu, the founder and CEO of Hara. Hara is a platform that enables the exchange of data in a way which allows farmers to both monetize their data and access information and resources that they have been excluded from systematically. Powered by transparent, secure, and decentralized blockchain technology, the solution enables farmers to do more. Regi is focused to deliver world-changing solutions by leveraging on data and technology with an aim to help the farmers and other stakeholders in the agriculture ecosystem to work with one another to improve their productivity and incomes. By creating value for all stakeholders, Hara enables the efficient exchange of information and fair, transparent sharing of economic value hence created. Regi, who was awarded as Ashoka Global Fellow and Endeavor Entrepreneur, believes the advent of new technologies will create transparent and accessible systems that will transform the agriculture and food sector, not only in Indonesia, but across the world. He is alumnus of Singularity University, Universitas Padjadjaran, and MIT Solon School of Management. Thanks, Pak Regi, for accepting our invitation. Like you, I have also traveled across most provinces of Indonesia, interacting with farmers at the grassroots level. This makes me more amazed by the work you are doing. Can you let us know and our viewers know a bit more about you and your current interests and activities, especially the great work you are doing in Hara platform? Floor is yours, brother.
Okay. Hey, Deepak, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be able to talk to you and talk to the audience. And this is exciting moment to really share what we've been doing and sharing what we did in the past and what we're going to do in the future. So thank you very much for the opportunity for us to be able to share. So allow me to share about what we are doing, starting from the question of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now and why we are exist. There's three reasons why information. Therefore, there's a lot of opportunities on the ground level in the village, and there's a lot of opportunities on the market side. But there's an asymmetric that we cannot really connect one to another. Therefore, there's a lot of value chain layers from farmers to the table of the every consumers. So that's number one. Second is actually because the information is not exist in the village level, there's a lot of tons of opportunities that a lot of corporation, even government, can really explore and collaborate with people on the village, including the smallholder farmers, how they can get better accessibility. Because when we talk about smallholder farmers, bottom of the pyramid, as well as we call it the invisible, how we can really give an accessibility for both sides. The accessibility for the farmers for getting better financial, better insurance, better product and services, better knowledge, and a lot of things that they need to equip to be more able to be more productive, economically sound, and having better future. At the same time, there's a lot of corporation and the business from a big urban cities. They want to do business with this what so-called untapped market, but there's no such thing as an information whatsoever. Therefore, they have a lot of hesitation in terms of penetrating that market because it seems like it's so risky. Seems like it's so dangerous going there. But after a while that we are doing, it's look beautiful. I would like to say it's from bottom of my heart, it's beautifully well structured, well managed in terms of the society on the bottom of the pyramid. And because I came from a village before when I was in junior high school, it's become my personal mission. Before I die, I really want to come back to that society because that society is so genuine, so sincere. So I experienced a beautiful life when I was in the village before. Therefore, I really pushing myself, never give up kind of a mentality to really work with them to explore the possibilities to bridge those two worlds. So that's the reason why I'm really passionate. I did this since 2016. There's a lot of failures that I did. There's a lot of mistake that I did. And the last 1.5 years, it's showing the result from all the pain point that I went through. So that's the reason why. And what we are doing, actually, we create what we call a closed loop ecosystem in the village level. So we empower a young generations in the village where they only have two choices. They stay in the village without jobs, or they get out from the village to the city to become a labor or working in the manufacture or in house and become a maid in the house, right? So with those two opportunities that they have, we engage them. We create a jobs for them to be able to become what we call agripreneurs, become an entrepreneur in agriculture. Because I found they are really digitally savvy. They have a smartphone, and they really savvy on the Facebook, because your channel in the Facebook. So thanks to Facebook because of it. So when we approach them, we create a process of recruitment, onboarding and training for them to be able to identify the potential customer of their business, which is the potential customer are the farmers, are the smallholder farmers, their parents, their uncle, and neighborhood within the village. So they identify the data, which is who are they, digitalizing their individual data, digitalizing the land that they are managing for their productivity, and digitalizing the process of cultivation from the time they start planting until they finish harvesting, including what the problems they're facing, like pests and diseases, including the yield that they're producing and the fertilizer or farm input that they are using. So we collect abundance of data on the farmer's ground. Then we put that on top of the blockchain technology to make sure that it's reliable, what you call data, and able to process for the next step of the journey. So once they collect the data, and these data are so meaningful for financial institution whom never been access to that market, because those farmers doesn't have any collateral or land certification, for example. So with that kind of data, the bank and us, we are able to what so-called building a credit scoring to really look at the risk profile of each farmers. Then we can decide, and banks decide on the credit that they can give to the farmers. So with that, the farmers will able to get an access from the financial. Same thing with the same data that we collect, that this agripreneur collect. They are insurance company are able to access the data. They can build a new product of insurance, which able to protect the farmers if there's something happen during the production time. And with the same of the data as well, because we know what type of farm inputs, these farm input companies has more micro level and granular level visibilities, which product which is affecting a good yield, which product needed in specific area. Therefore, they are keen to working with us to really supporting this ecosystem. Then these farmers, we built what we call Hara Depot, which is Hara Depot is a hub on every village that we are working with. With the Hara Depot is a small pop and mom shop existing for selling farm inputs, because this owner of the Hara Depot is an entrepreneur, but they are a very traditional entrepreneur. So within that Hara Depot, we help them to digitalize it, digitalize what their stocks, what their transactions, what the problem that farmers face, because farmers most of the time, if they have a problem, they goes to this pop and mom shop, right, to talk, this is my problem and what kind of solution that they can give. So because it's become we digitalize it, we capture all information, then we work with the big farm input corporation to give them a good agriculture practice, train them, increase their capabilities to become what we call the farmers doctors, which is the owner of the Hara Depot is the one who give the consultation to the farmers, right? So that's the third part of the ecosystem. So there's an agent, there's farmers, and there's a Hara Depot, which is the stakeholders from outside is actually the financial institutions, insurance institution, and farm input institution. Then to continue the closed loop economy, because we have a hub within the village, and we build trust within the ecosystem with the farmers and agent who live in that specific village, we help the farmers to sell their products with better price and better accessibility through the Hara Depot to our off-takers. We work with big off-takers companies where it's giving it more transparency and predictability of the season and the products that they are able to purchase from this Hara Depot. So with that, it's not only money coming into the village from the off-taking, because there's money coming in, and we are able to monitor the money coming out from the village whenever they buy something outside. So that kind of effort that we've been doing in the Hara ecosystem for the closed-loop economy, that we try to delivering access for the farmers to outside of village world, and from people from outside to coming to the village.
Regi, in fact, I'm amazed with the type of thought process you have put into it, because this is one of the biggest, most holistic solution I've come across in agriculture. And I interact with a lot of agri-tech players, including ourselves. We are agri-tech player, and this is something which I believe I'm not think something bigger and wholer than that, because you have taken care of upstream, downstream, and doing the cropping part of it. Congratulations for that, brother. So that brings us to our first question, more related to our discussion. So if you know that actually even before the COVID, the number of people who were going to bad without food was close to 800 million. And the World Food Program predict that actually 135 million more would be added because of the COVID and the discrepancies and the issues created by the COVID. This is because of various factors. I would like to understand from you that how do you see going forward that COVID would be impacting the global food security to start with, and also how the Indonesia would be suffering, because Indonesia is a net importer of a lot of crops, including rice.
Okay, it's very good topic of discussion and very good question. So the way I see it is it's what you call both side world, right? So the underlying factors why we might have a potential risk moving forward because of COVID and forward is actually the asymmetric information that I managed to share with you before. Because if I look in the reality of the farmers right now, they have difficulties to sell the products.
Right.
Some of my farmers are not able to sell the product. I give you an example: the corn farmers that we are managing, around almost 6,000 of them. Why did they have difficulties? Because the impact of the poultry industry. Because the corn is actually sell to the poultry company, and the poultry company who get bought from the restaurants, F&B, food and beverage, they require chicken, and there's no more demand on the chicken, and affecting to the corn farmers. That's one of the example, including the vegetables, horticulture farmers that we are managing as well. Even in the situation like now, they throw away all those vegetables, and that's on the farmer side. And when we look on the demand side in the city level, there's a lot of people requires those foods, but there's no connection, there's no information where they can get those foods, right? Therefore, I think with this kind of situation, it pushing everybody to be more open, to be more transparent, and to be more direct in terms of doing the transactions. So the way I see it, this is the good opportunities for us to really work together to solve this asymmetric information in more fastest way, because there's and the implication will be so big. The farmers will getting better accessibility and better price because they sell it directly to the one layer before the consumer, for example, or even to the consumer directly. And the consumer will get better quality because the freshness and the price will be much more better. So that's the way I see with this kind of situation. Everybody talking about this, the new normal and the transformation of the digital getting faster and exponentially. It's going to become much more better in terms of food supplies if we are able to manage the more and more transparent information from both sides. Information to the farmers is required. There's some demand on this kind of crops. This kind of crop is going down. This kind of crops or horticulture is going up. At the same time, from the buyer side, there's some area of the farming area that produce more on into this kind of crop. So it can be balancing out into the new equilibrium moving forward. So that's the way I see the impact of this kind of situation, which I do believe it will be accelerate for the sustainability of the food supplies around the world.
Fully agree with you, Regi, that we'll have a new normal and there would be changes for sure. And if you talk about Indonesia, like, in fact, I would say that's one of the most beautiful beautiful country in the world. I love Indonesia. In fact, I call it my second home, right? So it is a country which is blessed by God with one of the best agroclimatic condition, great soil, which is actually also Hara's Indonesian translation,
Yeah.
right. So beautiful soil, and but there is a challenge, like 17,000 island and ensuring the logistic in those islands. Right. So I would like to understand from you that actually the great work you are doing, what are the challenges you face in Indonesia with the context of the great possibility of farming. At the same time, a lot of challenges where actually rural areas are still having infrastructural issues. The poverty is there in the rural areas. Now you are doing great work in solving those problems. But what Regi feels, the problems he faces when he goes to solve these problems.
Okay. So there's a three big challenge that we are facing. You spot on the talking about infrastructure. I would like to divide into three different categories. Infrastructure in terms of financial institution. The financial institution has not really able to penetrate to the very bottom of the pyramid yet because of, I do understand why cannot be, because of the cost and everything. So the transaction is still on the cash level, and the cash level is prone to with many risk, right? Because it's all a cash basis, and that's something that we need to carefully think, build the framework, build the standard operating procedures, and build the execution to really minimize the risk and managing the what you call fraud upfront, because with this kind of situation, there's a lot of people getting more impacted, and the potential of fraud this most likely going to increase, right? Therefore, since beginning, we need to have a very good standard operating procedure to manage risk and fraud, right? So because it's cash basis, right? If it's digital, it's much more easier. Why we cannot quickly transform to digital? Because of the internet penetration is not really laid down across the continents. I mean, not continents, islands, right? So
Right.
so that's something, because Indonesian has an internet penetration very high for high density populations. So that's the infrastructure on the financial because of cash and the internet penetration. Therefore, we cannot really transform into the digital money. Second is actually the logistics. The logistics. The logistics is something that costly, because this not only the road infrastructure, but in terms of cost of what you call transportation. Uh, this is again, I think logistic is because of the connectivity of information between the shipper and one take-up point to the dropping point. So we need to pay if we sell the product from the farmers. The truck is loaded to the certain point, and when they come back is empty. So that can impacting to the cost of the uh, 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 cost and the price of the commodities. Therefore, we are in the process, and I think I'm happy to see the what you call logistic tech company is growing up. So they are able to manage and able to manage the optimization of their fleet in order for us to get better pricing. So that's the second and the opportunity that we see as a challenge, and the opportunities as well. The third one is actually on the. This is something that I think I would like to ask everybody uh, in the call, and in every time I get the chance to to thinking and working whenever you do business inclusion, corporate social responsibility, or doing any penetration to bottom of pyramid. Think about the sustainability of the effort that we have. Sustainability means that it's not only come up with the big campaign, ribbon cutting, photo ops, media release. Please stop doing it, because the damage is what I feel right now. The trust. The trust from those people on the bottom of the pyramid and the village, they really questions. If there's somebody coming to the village, they will question, will you just use us as your publicity? Will you stay together with us? If I say I have a program, if I say I want to help you, there's two keywords really uh, blocking them to work upfront with us, because because there's a lot of initiative coming to a lot of village. It's become a program and become something that will help them. It's just ended without any sustainability moving forward. Therefore, that's something that we need to really building a narrative, as well as how we really empower them in the more longer term, instead of only pilot project 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, but think how we can really finding a solution and working together with the people on the village. Then we grow from within, because something coming from outside, it might not work within the village itself. So those three things that I see, at least from my humble experience and my limited experience, that become a challenge for executing the initiative that we have.
Humble, you can surely say, but limited, I don't agree, because someone who has been brought up in village, you are among very few people who understand the pain of farmers, right? From educated, I think in Bandung. That was last time we were talking. You did your schooling from Bandung, right?
Yeah.
So somebody who has been among the farmers, right? I won't say that you have limited understanding. You are having very I'll say that correct and precise understanding. So Regi, let's get a little bit about the same thought which both of us we share. You also believe that the digital exclusion of the farmer is one of the reasons for them not being progressive or prosperous, right? Now, I would like to understand from you, like, that adoption of technology, which actually is the biggest challenge for the farmer in developing world as well as in Indonesia. How do you see that post-COVID, there would be more support from the ecosystem to enable farmer adopt more digital technology? And are you seeing any specific technologies which you believe that would be adding more value than others for the farmers?
Okay. So, in terms of digital technology, definitely mobile application is flooding the society in the village, right? So there's a little anecdote that I would like to share with you. When we came first time for early couple of days, when we reach out to the farmers, when we discuss with them, we ask the question, do you know, are you using the internet, right? And they say, no, I'm not using an internet. I'm really curious because most of them are using the smartphone, right? So, and they said, why you are not using the internet, and why you are using your smartphone? No, because internet is not good, because there's a lot of bad things in the internet. Okay, I was surprised, but you're using Facebook, right? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Facebook has a lot of thumbs that we can share. So that's the understanding, right, about the internet and the Facebook. So really, that's why application in the very simple and giving the direct benefit is something that going to transform them a lot, right? Uh, uh, then when the penetration of the connectivity coming in, it will growing exponentially. So that's the first one. Second, I think in terms of when digitalization happened, I would like to make sure a technology which able uh, and what you call giving the beneficial to the farmers in terms of data ownership, in terms of data that they have it, right? Uh, the data itself, that's the reason why I'm using the blockchain. The rights of the data is supposed to be on behalf of, I mean, the data itself is supposed to be under their control and they own it, right? Because they have a land, they have all the assets that they have, but the how we can really educate and make them realize that they have other assets, which is the data. So that's something useful for them, and for any institution and organization, it's useful as well if they can get the data in the granular level with high integrity of the data itself. So nobody can manipulate, everybody can access, and everybody can use it for the better purposes to give benefit to the farmers as well. That's the second technology that I think is useful. Third one is actually in terms of technology is the automations. The I mean, of course, we are collecting the data, giving an accessibility using application. If we are not making it smarter, why, right? So artificial intelligence will need it to give better recommendation, better prediction, better solution for the farmers to be able to apply it in their good agriculture practice. So those are three things that the way I see it moving forward is needed by this society.
Very well articulated, Regi, as like, someone who understands the subject very well. Coming from you, it's also validated the thoughts I was having, because these technologies, I strongly believe, are very important. And at least when we said about the intelligent advisory based on artificial intelligence, that is very critical, because you'll find that Indonesia is having an aging farming population. So until unless you don't get these technologies, which are helping the youth to get into agriculture, because they might not have that level of experience like their forefathers, right? By just seeing the sky, they know that what to do, right? The modern generation is not having that level of insight. Now with AI and ML, you are able to give them the right advisory so that even the youngsters can become farmers. That's very important. Very well articulated. And Regi, that brings us to the the last section of our discussion. And here actually we are looking from someone like you, who has been a serial entrepreneur, who has worn various hats, someone who was awesomely successful running your previous enterprise databot, creating a data set for the media industry, and being a star right in Indonesia. Then getting into agriculture, I heard your talk, I think it was in 2017 in Jakarta, the Big Data Summit, where you started talking about agriculture. And I started believing yes, there are crazy people like me in this part of the world as well. And believe me, that talk was very, very holistic, right? And exactly that is what we are doing today. So congratulations for that. So I would like to get some advice from our budding ecosystem players and the entrepreneurs that what they should be doing, right? So they become just like you and as successful as you. Success not in terms of just the monetary part of it, success in terms of creating impactful, sustainable startups.
Okay. I mean, wow. I mean, it's too much compliment for that, my friend, my brother.
I'm a
So,
big fan of yours.
uh,
I stalk you
um,
regularly.
I'm still learning a lot. There's a lot of things that I haven't learned in this world. So thank you for the compliment. I feel honored. So I think I would like to say there's three uh, things that I've been learning throughout my failures and mistakes. Number one is actually uh, be honest to yourself. Be honest to your own heart. Be honest to your own thoughts, because whatever it is I'm doing and you are doing, it's really coming honestly from bottom of the heart. Because talking about uh, uh, social entrepreneurs or impact focused entrepreneurship, or what you call sustainable entrepreneurship, if you are not really happy, if you are not really passionate, if you're not sincere to yourself, you are not able to gain or source the energy, because the energy is coming from your heart. So this is like amazing journey for myself. That's why I personally focusing on Hara. I'm building databot and building up the foundation for me to learn about the data. Now I dedicated 110 and 1,000% to Hara, more than 20 hours a day. I'm thinking about it because I don't know where's the energy come from. Energy is from my heart, and maybe there's a God, and I believe there's a God inside my heart to telling me what to do, because there's a lot of magics. It's magic for me to being interviewed by you right now, my friend. I mean, it's God's only me create this kind of opportunity. So there's a lot I can tell whole month, whole years about the magics happen in my life, because I'm really believe what I'm doing, and it's becoming from the heart. So I can I will not advise, share to all the entrepreneurs, use your heart, because the only truth is inside your heart, right? So this number one. Second, I never see any competitions. I never see any competitors. I love my friends. I love people who's doing agripreneurs as well, agriculture technology as well. So I ask for collaborations. I always see this problem is too big for me to be able to solve by myself, because agriculture is never ending. What you call it's kind of like huge problem. It's a world problem. Food is a world problem. So don't do it by myself. Don't I will never ever do it by myself. That's why we are keep in touch every time we had a chance. Let's explore collaboration, and I do it with everybody, because this is an exciting moment, and we have uh, one enemy around the world, right? It's the coronavirus that is our enemy. So since we have one enemy, let's fight toward that enemy, and we collaborate. This is the momentum for us to do more collaboration. And the third one is actually laser focus. Focus really sharp and laser from the strategic point of view until the detail executions, especially in agriculture, because if you miss in the, because the time cannot go back, and when you did wrong up front, it will be impacted backward, moving forward. So that's the laser focus is really important to make sure the execution right, and delivering the impact to the society, measure it, talk with them, and engage them, find a solution with them. Then it will bring back to our other stakeholders. So that kind of energy, belief, what you call focus and collaboration, that I think what bring me where I am today. And this is something that I need to learn more and to be mastering in on those three things and other things, of course. But this is something that makes me happy. I live my own dream right now. I live happy. So that's something that I would like to share with everybody as entrepreneur, as digital startup. Don't do something if you're not happy.
Let me add one more thing with your perspective, because to be successful like Regi, you need to have just not passion, but also compassion, which this man has a lot.
Thank
So
you.
thanks a lot, Regi. You have been always kind enough to support me and give your time to me. It was pleasure talking to you, and look forward to meet you in person in Jakarta soon. And inshallah, all your views, dreams get fulfilled. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. It's really honor to be in here with you. Hopefully, it's meaningful, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.